Hey guys! Today I thought I would do a flip through of my latest sketchbook that I completed. And this time I'm gonna talk about each page a little more as per requested. So anyway, I use a Canson multimedia sketchbook. I'm gonna talk about that in another video because I have a lot to say about this kind of sketchbook. They're great. But anyway, so obviously I like to cover my sketchbooks with fun stickers that I collect. Like some of them I've had before I even started a sketchbook, but some of them are from the travels that I did while I was using the sketchbook, like when I went to Boulder and Alaska. So yeah, I love this sketchbook because I had a great summer. Super fun, and it's all inside of here. So anyway, so the first page of all my sketchbooks, I have to fix that, of all my sketchbooks say Soli Deo Gloria, which means to God be the glory, because, I mean, that's what I believe. I believe that my talent is not something that I produced or made. It's from God. So it's kind of a nice way to keep myself in check at the beginning of every sketchbook. Alright, so here is a nice little succulent. That's one I have out in the kitchen, and I just wanted something to draw that day for practice. This is a house down the street. A little old lady. She wasn't too old. I mean, she was kind of a young old lady. She used to like run around the neighborhood and snoop on everybody. But anyway, she passed away, so I was feeling kind of sad about it. And so I thought I would draw her house from my front porch. This was at the airport on the way to Denver. I was really happy the way this one turned out because I was sitting there and I'm like, there isn't anything to draw. The seats are in the way. It looked kind of stupid, but it turned out pretty nice. Let's see, this is from the Geeks Who Drink Trivia Night at Reclamation. We go there sometimes for the trivia. It's pretty fun. Anyway, this was a contour drawing, I think is what they're called. It's whenever you put your pen down and you just don't lift it the whole time you're drawing the actual picture. And then of course after I filled it in with watercolor. This was one that I did while in Colorado with my friend. We went on a little dog walk, and I don't know, this time I used this receipt in it that was from a thrift store we went to. I thought it turned out pretty cool. It was really weird though, the way the ink and the watercolor did not really want to soak into this, so it kind of made a different texture over there. And okay, this is from portrait group that I go to every week on Wednesdays. You know, I go there to get practice with faces because it's not really my strong point. This was earlier. Let's see, that was in May. I was okay. I was mildly happy with it. This was from the drive back from Colorado. I went to Colorado to drive back to Pittsburgh-ish to hit home, basically, with my friend, and so this was what she affectionately calls the crazy, boring plain states on the drive, Colabraska. And then I don't know, I love these. They're so simple, but that's what you saw forever and ever, and I always remember it now. This is obviously a dragon fruit that I got when I was in Ohio with some friends, visiting some friends, and it was beautiful. I mean, look at this fruit, it's beautiful. So I had to draw it, but then I cut it open and it was beautiful inside, and I ate it and it was gross, and I will never buy one of these again. Alright? I don't know if it was too like ripe or something, but it was nasty. It was so nasty. This was just some tickets and flight ticket and some, you know, things that I collected in Colorado. And then this was from Ohio. I kind of skipped around in this sketchbook because at first whenever I started I was only drawing on one side of the page, but I have officially decided that I hate that. I want to draw on both sides. It doesn't bleed through or anything, so I went back through and filled in the pages, and that's why things aren't in order. But this was in Ohio, in the backyards of our friend's house. Just a nice little peaceful time there. This was, I didn't know what to draw that day, and that was around the time whenever that pineapple apple pen video came out. So I just drew this. If you don't know what that is, you should look it up on YouTube for a weird laugh. Pineapple apple pen. This was from another portrait group. I was pretty happy the way this turned out. I like the colors in it, and it didn't look too wonky, so I was happy with it. Oh, this is just something I never finished at a craft show. This was from our trip to Alaska, and this was like a rock man. I didn't have much time, but I thought I would sketch it real quick. And this was the Beluga Point site in Anchorage area. And we parked there to hopefully see some whales, but we didn't because it was the wrong time of year and it was freezing cold and kind of rainy, so I just drew this from the car. And this was a little cafe in Anchorage that we went to. And I don't like to sit there and be bored, obviously. Not that I was bored, but I just don't like to sit there and not do anything with my hands. So if I have enough time or if I don't feel too self-conscious, I'm going to draw. And this was from Alaska as well. It was along it was in the Denali National Park. And it was such a cool place, like little cottages and like so secluded, no internet. Your cell phone barely worked, but it was beautiful. And another place that we stayed at on our Alaska trip was called the Tangle River Inn. I didn't really draw the inn, but this is the view from it, and it was just real quick. I didn't have much time again, but I wanted to get it down. And here was some stuff I collected there, like these beer labels. I thought they were really cool looking, and then this was one of the adventure tours we went to. Pretty fun. And then the flight from Anchorage to Portland. I mean, there isn't that many options of what to draw on the plane, but I thought that it was pretty fun. I like to collect beer labels, I guess, because here's another one from a cider when we were in Illinois, and then I just wrote some stuff about it. I like to put these little blocks in, it just makes it more interesting. And this was from our trip to Illinois to audio feed. Just a quick, just straight up, I think this was ballpoint pen that I just used at our campsite. And this was at audio feed during one of the shows. Spoken Nerd, super awesome. Check them out sometime. And this was a craft show at Southside Works in Pittsburgh with I Made It Market. I do lots of shows with them, and I'm so thankful for them, and I love them. So anyway, sometimes have a little bit of downtime in my tent, especially in the morning before it actually starts. Usually during the day I'm way too busy, so this was early in the morning before everybody was even set up. Another portrait group. I was really happy with this one. I loved the way the hair turned out. I just used ballpoint pen after I watercolored everything and just put some of the shading in. And this one I did a time-lapse video of my Mr. Stanky plant. He's getting so big right now, he's like falling over. I'm gonna have to like cut some pieces off of him or something, I don't know. And one day I just went on our front porch and the dogs were just chilling, so I just drew some little sketches of them. They're really hard because they don't stay still, but it forces you to learn fast, I guess. There's a little bar like 2 houses down the street that sometimes once in a while we'll go to, and so this one night we went, and here's my friend and a couple of the labels. I love to collect the labels because the art is usually really cool. My cactus. I decided to print out a picture to show how tiny he was when I brought him home in 2016 from Florida. And this summer he grew this giant piece, and now he's like a foot high. It's awesome. And it's just one huge piece. So hopefully next year he'll get like some more pads coming off. I hope. This was just one day I wanted to have some practice. So this was on my back porch, my cucumber plants. They just kind of go up the stairway. I thought it turned out really pretty. I was super happy. You can tell I was really relaxed that day. When I'm relaxed, they really turn out. So I need to learn how to chill. Okay, this is a time I went to Cook Forest with my parents and my aunt and uncle. We rode bikes, and then afterwards, my parents don't mind just chilling out with me, so I did this sketch along the road there. And then we walked further, like hiked a little bit, and I found a nice dead tree to sit on and did this one of the deep forest. Sometimes I like to collect the little, you know, like brochures or whatever, and cut out pieces of it to include with my sketches. Here's another beer label from a local brewery called Butler Brew Works. I can't waste it. I gotta peel it off. If I can peel it off, I'm gonna put it in my book. So I just wrote some stuff about that day. This was another sketch from whenever I went to Boulder, Colorado, and I love the way this mountain had like a golden base to it. So I really tried to capture that, and I like the way it turned out. It's just watercolor. This one is another one from Portrait Group, a boy, and which is even harder for me because I always make them have a baby face, which this wasn't too bad because this is a young guy. But if you ever see my older guy sketches, oh no, I gotta work on that. My husband and I went to Presque Isle, Erie, around our anniversary, and this is the lighthouse there, and he's so wonderful because I always want to sketch, and he's just like, it's fine, we can chill, we can sketch a little bit. So that's what we did. And this was the bouquet of flowers that he sent me on our anniversary. He has to travel for work a lot, and he happened to be out of town on that day, so he sent me some flowers, and I really wanted to draw them so I would remember them forever. Like, and that's the thing I love about sketching them. I can take a picture and I'll probably remember mostly what they look like, but if I sketch it, it will be engraved in my mind for all time. And another Portrait Group. This is a friend of mine, Ben. He owns one of the other local pubs in Butler called Reclamation Brewing. So that was fun. And this is another one from Boulder. I just like the tree there, so I thought, why not get as much sketching in as I possibly can? I hope I don't annoy other people. They're like, oh man, give it up, girl. Don't you have anything else you want to do? Like, well, a little bit. Riding bikes, exercise. Oh no, I'm getting a call. And it's a spam call. Yeah, right. Okay. Portrait Group one day in the summer, we decided to go outside instead, and we didn't really have anyone to sit with us, for us. So this was on top of the parking garage in Butler. I really like the way this turned out. I mean, it's just rough and stuff, but it's cool because it has the courthouse there, and I don't know, nice little skyline. And this was also from the top of the parking garage, Grace at Calvary Church. It's a really cool architecture. And then the next day, I went to the library and sat down at the table and looked out, and there is this wonderful building and view for me to draw, which, that's great. I was so happy because it was really hot outside. So I just drew in the library and had a nice time. And this is my tattoo shop, Electric Empire and Pizza Joe's. So the next day was the day of the eclipse here. Well, I don't know if it was the next day, whatever. It was the day of the eclipse, and I didn't really feel like doing the eclipse, but I was super excited about it, so space was what I was going to do. I also happen to have this beer label from this Star Trek Anniversary Ale, and I didn't want to waste that. I got to use that. So I thought, Star Trek. I'm a big fan, big fan. I like the way it turned out. And since this had so much black on it, I knew it would rub off on the other page, so I made this like wax paper divider because I didn't want it to ruin this side. And this is the day that I was like, oh my gosh, I miss using gouache. I haven't used it in like 20 years, so I ran out to Michael's and got some, and this was what I painted for the first time in 20 years with gouache. For portrait group, we went outside again. So we went to Moraine State Park and to the little marina there, and I was really happy the way it turned out. I was stressed out the whole time. I don't know why, just because I haven't used that in so long, but it was awesome. I love them. And then the sunflower I did the next day. My aunt took this picture. My aunt took this picture of her sunflower that she drew, that she grew, and so I decided to do a gouache of it. And I was so sad because I recorded a video. I was gonna have a time lapse of it, but it was the first time I used my DSLR, and I didn't realize that it was gonna shut off like every 13 minutes, so that didn't happen. I was very, very sad. But I was really happy with the way this turned out. I have prints available of this in my Etsy shop, if you're interested. This was a big day for me. I was super excited to have designed a beer label for Reclamation Brewing, and this was the day it was released, so I had to draw something from it, and this is my mug, because my husband and I are mug club members, and this is his mug and one of the bottles, and this is one of the actual labels. And I currently have just designed, I just did another painting for 2 more, so I'm pretty excited. This was the Joshua Tree painting that I did a time lapse of just 2 videos ago. It was a gouache. This was a local festival, Saxonburg Arts Festival, and we sat at the coffee shop there, and I just drew while we had coffee and chilled out. I really like the way this one turned out, a lot of detail. I just used a ballpoint pen. I love sketching with ballpoint pen. This was the 40th birthday of the Atari 2600, so I just wanted to do a little tribute to that since I pretty much grew up with it. Since I am 40 years old. Yes, I grew up with it. Such a great year. Star Wars, you got this, Saturday Night Fever. There's so many good things. Okay. Portrait group, this wasn't that long ago. I was pretty happy with it too. I mean, I feel like I'm definitely improving. This is a gouache painting that I wanted to do of my little veggies from outside. Magical. Just love gouache. Okay, I can't really show you the next one because it was a commission that has not been given to the person yet. And this was just a weird tree doodle, I guess I did one day. I think I did it in church. Because I sometimes sketch in church because it kind of occupies the side of the brain that I need to be occupied so I can actually listen. Try it. It really, it works. This was when my friend Lorraine came over to watch Star Wars with me, so I did Tatooine, and that's it. There's the back of the sketchbook. I've already started my new one, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I plan on doing more sketchbook flip-throughs, like from my older ones, because I have like a lot. Maybe I'll do a really old one next time, because that might be interesting. Anyway, hope you had a great day, and thanks for watching.